Welcome back to part 2.
This is where the pictures used to be, and it looked actually quite nice. But I just want this. I want it somewhere different now. Right, I'm done. That's me done. I'm not doing anymore. And then I've got an old rag. Do you know you can use t-shirts? You know, use t-shirts. Use bloody things that you're going to take to the charity shop or things you're going to throw out. Bloody cut them into rags. Don't bloody just throw them out. And you don't have to bloody buy any from the shop. So, anyway, this is an old dishcloth. So, I have I wiped it down a bit. I'm going to start painting now. I've got dust in my mouth. Because I'm talking at the same time. I just want to show you a bit of me actually painting, and then I'm going to stop it, and then I'm just going to paint the wall. So here we go. See, look, the bag. I mean, obviously, I haven't tightened the bag up enough because it's got air pockets in there. But this tray is not going to be still relatively clean. See? Right, here we go. I'm so excited. Oh, do you like the sound of paint? Listen. Just listen to that. Oh. It's just like, it's definitely AMSR. Is it AS? What the hell is it? AMSR? Or ASMR? Me not know. But still. Ooh. Nice. Alright, see you later. I just got a ton of paint on my phone. It's a good job I've got a case on it, to be honest. I need cases on my phones because I just dropped them. But I just realised there's one like painter's tip as well, although I'm not a painter and decorator, is when it dries super quick when you are painting the wall. So if you've had hot weather, just bear that in mind. So you might have to work pretty quickly, which I'm doing at the moment because now it's just drying, unless it's just soaking into the wall because it hasn't been done for a while. But that's not the point I was trying to make, really. The point I was trying to make is, I've got a really long brush, by the way. I got it from Lidl, actually. They're pretty good. So you can actually get to my ceiling, because my ceiling's not very high anyway. But yeah, so the point I was trying to make is that, do you know what? I shouldn't have done that. Oh well. I'm gonna paint underneath. I want to paint underneath. Can you see? I want to go upside down. Can you go upside? Can you see there? You see it all bitty where my coving is? Where my coving meets the wall. Just like the lip bit, basically. I'm going to use the small paintbrush to go under that. But I need to work quick. But the point I was trying to make is that my husband said to me, you know, we put the house up for sale before, and it did sell. But we could not find anywhere that we were happy with because we have children. We had to make sure, you know, where we were going to live. It's going to be suitable, travelling distance wise. You know, when our kids go into secondary school, when we go to work, is it accessible? Is it easy route? You know, it's not stressful. That being stressful in itself. And then, apart from that, it was just like, we could just put it on the market, which I did do before, with the walls as they were, the ceiling as it was before I just painted it, and we still got a very good price. Even though my husband said we could have got more, but I think we got a good price considering what we paid for it. And yeah, and then I was just like, this time around, something just told me, I was like, I think I really want to just redecorate the living room. I really want to redecorate it. I don't want to like leave it like it was old before. I don't know. I don't know why I thought that. Because I've made small work for myself, as I always do. But because I've just left my job, I left one of my jobs. I've got another job. I do have another job, so I'm not going completely crazy. But it obviously, you know, the other one's a little job. But I just was thinking to myself, you know, I really want to make the house really nice and fresh. For the sake of, we've been here for nearly 10 plus so years. and you know, it deserves a bit of last kind of time of a TLC. You know, it's hopefully the people will keep the same colour, because when we first moved in here, all this was brown. I mean, we've got brown in our kitchen. It was darker than the brown in our kitchen. Oh, look at the state of that. That's just like washing. I can't do everything at the minute. My house usually is more organised, but I've had to sacrifice by washing. But anyway, yeah, we had to, like, it was horrendous. What was I saying? Yeah, I had to, because it was so dark, I had to put a primer on it first. No, actually, I had to melt some of the paint off because it was bloody silk. And obviously silk's great. And to be honest, I wish I had silk in the paint that I have now, because it's a lot more durable when you've got messy fingers and stuff and marks on the wall and stuff. And ours is like a living room and a dining room. And yeah, so I don't know where I'm going with this. Where am I going? So yeah, I had to melt it all off, melt all that off. It looked nice in here and it looked cosy, but because this is the main space, I think we just needed to brighten it up. I just was itching to brighten it up. So at first it was lilac, like a soft lilac, pastel-y colour. I loved that for a while, but then I was like, with the white, it just didn't look great. So I turned that cream and I put this. I put basically 2/3 of my living room is this colour, Clontarf, and the other bit is just a magnolia cream, just to balance it off a bit because I've got grey floors. So I've loved this colour ever since, and I think there's a bit of a thing around where I live where a lot of people do have these type of colours in their house. And if you've got a busy household and you've got busy people, a busy, you know, frantic, hectic, loud, because we have a loud house, not all the time, but with the devices and children who are only 5 and 9 running around, it gets loud. So I really wanted the calm colours to look at and feel quite relaxed when I came in the afternoon from wherever I was. So I'm just going to put this onto my do it one-handed, isn't great. There you go, it slots in very nicely. Yeah, so I'm going to go up the ladder now. I need my paintbrush. Here's my paintbrush. There's my paintbrush. So I'm going to show you me tucking. Oh, doing the bit underneath. I hope they do keep this colour. Really, it'll be lovely to keep the colour. But if they don't, they don't. I know a lot of people will probably be asking me right now, why do you not put... Oh, look, I've already messed it up. Ah! I've already messed it up. Oh, no. I've got some white. It's all right. I'm going to touch up with white later. A lot of people will be saying, why don't you just put masking tape on this bit? Because I don't. I said I don't want to because I've done it before. Oh man, I was making the same error every time. It's because I'm talking. I literally done it before. I've used all the nice different types of paint, taken it off as soon as I've finished, or virtually when I've it's dried for a little bit, and it still rips the bloody paint off, and I get really annoyed with it. And I'm not doing that again. So I'd rather just do this bit. I know it's a bit more cumbersome and a bit time consuming, but with my weird ways, I prefer it like this. So that's what I like, really. And then what I do, I smudge it in. This is like Bob Ross, isn't it? It's definitely nothing like Bob Ross. Definitely. If nobody knows what Bob Ross is, it's the most relaxing art show I've ever watched. And me and my kids and my husband actually love watching it. They're really old shows. Oh my gosh, I'm so hot now. Do you know what? It's such a grey day outside. I'm boiling hot. I thought, oh, I'll put my jumper on, and I've got a t-shirt under this. I do need to take my jumper off because it's too bloody hot. Ah! That's why I have. That's why I have stuff on the floor, like a sheet on the floor, because if I drop stuff, then at least it's not dropping onto the actual. Oh, stop talking, Steph. Right, here we go. Here we are. We're just smudging it down so it looks like it's part of the wall. And Bob's your uncle. It is done. I'll just take off some of this. A little bit too much there. Oh my gosh, my gosh. There we go. Problem is with me, I have too much attention to detail with certain things, and this is when things take a lot longer for me to do. I try not to, but it's really hard not to. Do you know, I'm boiling hot. I'm gonna have to stop this. I'm gonna have to take my clothes off, my top off, not my top, but my jumper off. I saved this paint from yesterday in my little tray, because I thought I want to have to probably do touch-ups. So I'm so glad it's still wet, so I don't have to go into the main paint. So I could touch this up now. Which is not going to take long to do. But I put the master paint pot into the bloody garage, and I don't want to go into the garage because I'll get distracted and then I want to do something in the garage. Whereas I'm thinking to myself, Steph, you got to get on with this because you want to sell your house. I did a little decluttering video for my garage. But I've just been really busy, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I'm trying not to be, but I think there's been seasons in my life at the moment. Oh, I like the word seasons. There has been seasons in my life at the moment where I think the perfectionism and the control has helped me to be more regulated. And I want this channel, I want quality over quantity, and I know that doesn't generate views as much as I would love it to. Because to be honest, I'm actually quite afraid of burnout, because I've done this so many times now. I've actually been on YouTube with different channels since 2018. That's bad, isn't it? And I just... plenty of ideas, but I'm the type of person that doesn't execute enough when it comes to myself. I mean, when it's other people and I'm working in a job, it's different. You know, I'm pretty good with that, but when it comes to my own self and my self-development, with doing things that I'm really passionate about, I can be a bit OTT sometimes. I can be a bit OTT sometimes, so. Right, so that's done. It's the next wall. Oh my gosh. Hello again. I've now done that wall. Looks much better, doesn't it? No, if you can see under the caving bit, I've tried to do it as neat as possible. I'll show you that. Yeah. So it meets quite nicely. It's quite a nice smooth finish across the wall. You're upside down at the minute. So now I'm going to do is use my little tiny brush. It's so cute. I'm doing this bit here over the patio doors, and it means that I can't use my big roller. Because it will just get everywhere. So I got one of these. I got this actually from Morrison's the other day. It was a tray with two little roller attachments. One which is sponge and one it's like this. And I prefer this for like what I need to do. Gives a slight texture. And then the little kind of gizmo bit that goes with it. So I'm just going to push it on. But because I won't one hand, I'm going to do that. So it gives a really quite a snug fit, and it goes around just like a normal roller, which I showed you earlier. That had, actually no, I didn't show you earlier, but I had a small tray with it that I've got white paint in there at the moment over my plastic bag. But I'm going to just dip it into my big one like that, because I still need it. So this is going to take a lot less time and hopefully effort in order to do this bit. So here we go. Actually recording and doing this at the same time is taking much longer to do. So I might have to actually say goodbye for a little bit. So I have to just carry on. But I'm glad that you've come to watch me and me talk about my next chapter in my life. I always have many chapters, but this is a fun one. I love just doing this. Just takes my mind off the normal stuff. Do you know what programs I was obsessed with when I was a kid? Has anyone watched Homes Under the Hammer? What was it? Changing Rooms? Homes Under the Hammer, Changing Rooms, and Grand Designs. I mean, obviously Grand Designs is a bit more later, but if you were born in the 90s and the 80s, late 80s, 90s, then you would have known what Changing Rooms is about. Literally, Changing Rooms, what they'd do, they would get a house, they would surprise somebody with a house, surprise somebody who wanted a quick change in their house, and there was like a dramatic story or a sad story as a background to the reason why they wanted their house done up. And they literally had to do it in like, was it 60 seconds? No, I think another one was called 60 Seconds Makeover, which I actually liked. That was okay. But because Changing Rooms was one of the first programs on the TV, that was like a revolutionary one. Because does anybody remember that episode where they did, was it Lawrence Bowen? Is it Lawrence Bowen? Lawrence something Bowen, is a really flamboyant kind of interior stylist, or interior designer, whatever. They did the house up, and the people really hated it because I think it was like a checkered floor. If I can get a clip, I'll put it in this video. But it was so hilarious, and that's kind of what put them on the map. Well, not put them on the map, but made it so like different to what you would normally see on TV. And honestly, I love the hustle and bustle of it. I love the fact that these camera angles are really bad today. I love the hustle and bustle of it. I love the fact that you know, you only had like so many minutes, so many hours in the day to get it done. Glenn's Designs was more the luxury end of programs, usually in rural places, and you know, people are developing houses from scratch. You know, they have all their blueprints, and you know, they have the project manager on site. You know, they have like 6 figures in terms of budget, and you know, they have this really vast amount of square footage and like huge windows, huge ceilings. And then I was like, oh, that's just such a beautiful dream. And then sometimes I do the one-off things like the really tiny houses and things like that. And I think I might have done one where it's like, or maybe it's another home program I've been watching, where it was a tiny house, but they kitted it out. It was like a house on wheels, and it was a tiny house, and it was lovely. It was the way that they designed it. They had all the features and all the mod cons, but the way that they designed it was really creative because they had to look at the space of the room, of what they had, in order to, you know, utilise each and every square footage of space that they had. But it makes you think, doesn't it? It makes you think how creative some people can actually be. You know, aspiring to have a house of your own, or, you know, redesign a space. You really want your character to come through on it. And I think that's what the key thing is. And I think with the changing rooms aspect of it, you know, what people wanted in terms of their, you know, scheme and things, but a lot of it they got wrong because, you know, they probably really didn't take into account people's kind of likes and dislikes. Because what it was, I think also, wasn't it where they had two groups of people, two homes, and then they did a swap, like, so one lot of people swapped to the other person's house, and like obviously they did it up and vice versa. I think that's what it was. I might be wrong, but anyway, if you know better than what I do, because my memory is now kind of obviously, you know, a sieve with children. No, it's just a sieve anyway, because I've got so many things going on. Put changing rooms, grand designs, or homes under the hammer, which I actually haven't explained. Homes under the hammer, that's really boring. It's the most boringest show, but it's so fun because these are auction houses, and they're like derelict, like they're proper derelict houses. And a lot of them you have on the show are landlords and things that are going to do up these houses, or the edge of certain like affluent places. But you just look at them and you think, my husband would be terrified. If we got a derelict house and did it up, he would be terrified. He'd be like, no way in hell am I doing that. But I would love doing something like that in the future maybe. But yeah, so they would show you around, show all the like the mold, the carpets like infested, like timber frames coming through the ceilings are all ripped apart, and they say, you know, whoever's going to have this house, you know, this bit looks really good, but this will definitely need a repair and all this kind of stuff. And it's so interesting. Then obviously they go to the auction house, and you know, people put their stuff, their money forward, and some people obviously, you know, developers, and they have a portfolio of houses that they've done, and you see some styles of them at the end, and you think, oh, actually you're just doing that as a quick turnover just to literally get the money in. And then some people really style it out and really do it up. All these shows are on like UK TV, but I am more than positive you could probably look on YouTube and look at some of these shows, because obviously a lot of them are retro now. But yeah, I am done talking now, and I've got to go and get the kids in a minute. So see you, bye. Guys, when you have kids, you can never leave anything out. We're not supposed to anyway, obviously, for health and safety reasons, depending on the age of your child. But I've realised if I leave anything out, they just want to climb up it, or they want to play with it. I'm like, this is not a toy. It's just if I left it out by accident, like, you know, because now I'm going to be rushing to go and get the kids and think, oh, I've put everything away. I generally do try and give it a bit of a tidy up and a hoover, so the kids don't get stuff on their feet and stuff. But I wasn't expecting to get the kids today, but my husband's now working late hours. Therefore, that means I'm actually trying to rush now to tidy up and do the last bit of painting. But I'm also taking the ladder down and hiding it, because the other day I left the ladder up, but my husband's downstairs, I was upstairs. And then when my son ran upstairs all happy, obviously, you know, getting changed for bed. So he only had like his top half on basically. And I was like, you've been on the ladders, haven't you? He's like, no. I said, you have been on those ladders. He's 9 years old. I was like, no, I haven't. I went, do you know how I know you've been on these ladders? He's like, yes, mummy, I haven't. I was like, you've got paint marks all over your backsides. He had paint marks all over his bum. I knew he was. He's like, oh no, I thought you wouldn't know. I was like, I know everything. He's also got someone coming over for a play date, and I don't fancy them climbing on the ladders either, to be honest. But this is just juggling life, really. And I've really thoroughly enjoyed it today. Just talking to you lovely people, and having a bit of a chin wag. If you want to look at my wall, here's my wall. So I've done it. I've done this bit. I've got rid of all the all the filling bits, all the filler. Obviously I sanded it off and stuff. I've literally got to do around the window frame around the patio. I'm going to caulk it. It's a bit like a decorator's filler. It's not a filler that you usually fill holes with wool. It's more like edges and gaps. It isn't waterproof, and it doesn't expand very well. It depends on where you put it in the house, but just have a look out there and what you think is the best kind of type of caulk for you. Not waterproof really, so it's entirely your choice. Again, I'm not a decorator. I just do things in the house. But yeah, yeah, I'm going. I gotta go. Do you know when you just really want to finish something off? And is any of you like when you want to finish a project off and you know you've got to stop it and you really don't want to stop it? I think this is like, to me, this is like a passion of mine, just to do, not decorating. Decorating is not an entire passion. It's transformation is a passion. Colours are a passion. Doing creative stuff is more of a passion for me. I wouldn't say I'm a decorator, but I like the end result. And some of the process, like choosing colours and things like that. But yes, I'm going to go. And yeah, thank you for watching me all the way through. And I hope you like this type of video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up or just a little bit of a comment of, I like this video. Why don't you do more of these? Because I need a bit of a direction sometimes of where this is going to head on my channel. Obviously I love doing the shorts videos, but I'm also a bit of a talker, so I do actually like to talk about things, but I know it's a bit of a longer process, and plus it takes a bit more time for me to upload things. But once I get the hang of it, and I've got a bulk of videos that I'm going to put up, just bear with me. But I'm really glad that you're here and you managed to share my rants, my funny moments and my nostalgic moments whilst I've been decorating. And I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. There you are. So this is what it looks like. It looks much better, doesn't it? I mean, everything was different, completely different. I wanted the focal point to be like the table, seating rather than the TV. So the TV's on that wall now. So as soon as you come in, you don't see the TV. You see like the communal, like the family area, like having something to eat, and then obviously, you know, sit down and chill. Feng Shui wise, in terms of having the door behind me, it isn't great. It's like a storage box. You can sit on as well, but it's a storage box. Try and balance it out a bit. And I've added a lamp there and a plant. And I've also added a plant next to the TV to balance the TV out, because if you see our TV, it's fairly big. It's an oldish TV now, but it's fairly big. So I've put a plant there to kind of balance that out. This space here, which is probably negative space now, which is good because that's what I want. I want the flow. It's a living room, dining room. You could make it into a complete full length living room, and have before used the kitchen as an eating area. But we also still like having this in here.